Hi, this is Pierre de la Côte, working at Planet Technologies. Let me tell you a story. Today I was working with a help desk manager for one of our customers, and it's always fun to work with help desk people because they have so many funny stories about their end users who sometimes are struggling with the technology. And I was asking him what is the main reason people are calling the help desk, and I said, is it for technical issues, bugs, stuff like that? And surprisingly, or not surprisingly, people were calling to reset their password. So he had, I think he said, 100 calls every week or so. So it's pretty good amount of call. And so I said, oh wow, people might forget their password, or this might be an issue here. And he said, no, we there's a website where they can reset their password, so they can do it by themselves. They don't have to call us. So I was surprised. Why do they call you? And he said, because some people are like that. They want us to do the job then. So even if they change the password one day and they forget the password 2 days after, and that happens, you remember the laggards, then they call us and ask us to reset their password. So that's part of the change. You have people who are used to be assisted. Often they're VIP, or maybe sometimes people who are not comfortable with the technology. And basically there are two ways to address that. The first one is to help them when they ask, and well, actually the three ways: help them when they ask and do what they ask for. And the second way is not to do anything and say, here's the procedure, do it yourself, which is not really good for them, for your business, for the way you treat people. And the third way is to educate the people. So you help them, but after helping them, maybe you send them a link on how to do it by themselves, and maybe some of them will do it by themselves after. But often we can see when there's an issue, often it's not a problem of people, it's a problem related to the process. So probably here the process to reset the password was not that easy, or maybe they were changing password too often for people to remember, or maybe they didn't educate the end user to choose new password in a way they can remember it easily. And I'll give you another story that happened with a colleague of mine a long time ago when I worked at Microsoft. His name was Christophe Horny. And horny. In French, it doesn't mean anything. And one day, he realized that he were not receiving any email from outside the company. So he called the help desk and said, I have a problem. I don't receive any more email. And he had a guy on the line. It was an Indian guy who had, by the way, a name with maybe 50 letters in it. And the guy started to investigate, and say, yeah, I think I know why. It's because in your email address, christoph.horny at there's a horny, and we use a new spam engine to block emails. So horny is detected, and that's why it's blocked. So my colleague said, okay, so what are you going to do? And the guy said, I think you should change your name in your email address. So you can imagine that my colleague was not happy about that. He didn't want to change his email address or his name. So after maybe 2 or 3 calls of negotiation, finally he succeeded to convince the help desk to change their process in a way, because the process was bad, asking people to change their name because it's easier for the help desk to manage it than to go into an exception to tell the anti-spam software to accept horny and whatever. I don't know how they solve it, but so often you blame people, but you should blame processes, and behind the processes there are a few people that you need to convince. So that was the tip of my day, the story of the day. Bye.